Hey there, folks. Got some more approach for you today. Got some nice variants here. Trying out the Wandering Emperor for you. See where that goes. Videos coming up with some gameplay. Deck techs afterwards. Alright, we're in on the play. We've got some growth spiral action, some key, and an approach. We have nothing else though, so I mean this is pretty much all in. Now, how do I want to start this out? Probably Temple Garden, Hengegate into a growth spiral, tapland, Temple of Plenty when I know what my opponent's doing. That sounds like a plan. Like Wayward Guide Beast, who's going to have 0 lands to do stuff with, they don't do anything? Alright, whatever. Naturally, you see red and, like, okay. Okay, Wayward Guide Beast is the worst card on the planet. I'm glad for this. Okay, Zeus's Many Journeys. I'm going to push that because we're probably going to Cosmos this turn, which is going to just buy time. Or we key. We can key. We can key approach, and then we can Cosmos later. Okay, so Day of Judgment seems pretty good for this batch. And then with that involved, I think I'm just going to drop Hallowed Fountain. So if they're pressing too much damage next turn here, then I get to blow some stuff up. Legion War Boss, that is a full tapped out team. And I'm just going to blow up that team. Our opponent's absolutely a fan of this. They love this deck. They can't get enough of it. They're going to make it immediately afterwards. Dwarven Mine, Goblin Smuggler, swacking for 2, sure. That's fine. And some sort of skewer, sure. Okay, well, I'm just going to approach the second sun. Play my Cascade, Cosmos and Azusa's Many Journeys next turn. And this will gain some more. Raid Bombardment, my opponent finally drops the other foot. Here we are. That's quite a bit. Okay, so, Cosmos, Azusa's, and Azusa's. 14, Sunset Revelry. Yeah, I'll take it. It's a draw through while still gaining us a bunch of life. Because we're gaining 8 life next turn, if we survive, of course. This gives us stuff to survive with. Also, it gives us more stuff to survive with. Also, it's like drawing us ridiculously close to approach. The Wandering Emperor is not going to draw us a card. Let's just try and get closer to that approach. Because, I mean, the next card could be approach. We don't have time. We need to survive badly. Okay. We're just going to... Okay, these guys are just what they are. Fine. Block them all. If they break up blocks, I don't care. Whatever. We'll just clear the table a little bit. Alright. 2 more blockers. And another Cosmos Elixir, and we're at approach. Keep. Oh, look, we didn't gain life off that. How's that burn deck working for you? You got it, buddy. Slaying Fire it is. Uh-huh. Oh, I can't block? Oh, no. It's in my hand, dude. Ah, whatever. Anyway. Thing. Right then, we've got an opening hand with Divine Purge, unable to cast. We've got a Breeding Pool opener as well. Growth Spiral kind of complicates matters when it comes to that, because this white source would have to come down as green source. That's just how Growth Spiral will work. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. The World Tree, however, takes the complication right out of that. Robber of the Rich. Okay. Takes my growth spiral. I didn't want it anyway. It's kind of a bit of a pain. That super makes things easy. Okay, pass the turn. Yep. We're going to growth spiral right now. I don't know if this sets us under the threshold or not. We're just going to do it anyway. Okay. Takes a land from us. That's fine in our current state. Sure, bud. So, yeah, all right, we're good to go. What else you got for me? Electrostatic field. Okay, so they're playing that kind of nonsense. I think we're just going to do this. Cosmos Elixir to stall, and then we'll purge them. No, thanks on the lands, please. Do they open with attacks? Now, they got Cavalcade, which doesn't actually do... Oh, still... Well, it might. We'll see. There's plenty of things here. They take one of my approaches. Okay, fine. Azusa's many journeys, you say? Okay. Many journeys. This will offer the life gain later. And then we purge them. Off your stuff goes. Cool. And next turn we're casting approach. Honestly, I'll just take it. There's no true downside to it. Their creatures that they have off the side are going to come into play tapped anyway. Chandra Acolyte, that's a card. And now that rat's looking less good, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this? 12. Sure. It's fine. Okay, there's our life. And then here's some more life. We're at 22. And we get an Explorer, which will start drawing us through to the approach. So the Wrath Scry was fine. It's not the perfect draw, obviously, when they counter with the Chandra. Krenko's problematic, but not immediately. Chandra's going to be the thing that probably gets us. We'll see. Opponent's not really doing much. Do you have an Abrade? No. Maybe. Who knows? Those are gone. It's a possibility. Purge again. We explore. We grow spiral. Play that. We're getting closer. Do I want to just Krenko and Purge? Or just Wrath? I could just leave this here to bother them. They have to interact with it, and any of their reach just doesn't go to face. Sure, why not? We can Purge next turn. That's gone. Ever closer. So anyways, a Cavalcade deck that doesn't really cavalcade much, and then the previous one, the Raid Bombardment, I mean, I guess that's where it's at. Active Treason. Don't you dare. That ain't cool, brah. Active Treason. Alright, whatever. Okay, anyway. And Fine. We're going to bother them. Oddly enough, that would have done that too. It's fine. Any follow-ups? No follow-ups. Alright, whatever. Divine Purge. They have an instant speed effect. It exists, I just don't know what they're doing with it. We're going to Azusa's Many Journeys again. It's a little slow right now towards getting towards that point in the game, but hey, whatever. Gain 2 life, get to 12. It's going to be pretty hard for them to keep up from here. But, I mean, they could throw it all at us. Legion War boss, and that's 6 damage. Token, token, token. Plus 3 cavalcade, 6 damage. Can you do 6 more? That undoes it. Zeus's triggers for 3 life. We're at 9. I highly doubt they're winning, and approach. Shock. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, Stall versus Red is completely capable, as you can see. Okay, in on the draw, we have ourselves a turn 3 Cosmos Elixir. It depends on what our opponent's playing. That's a Gigantha. Okay, if it's Sack, we're gone. Sure. Anyways, Hallowed Fountain works. Hallowed Fountain, Branchloft, some sort of Triome. Okay. That's fine. Another Triome, so I wouldn't even consider... I wouldn't even consider anything long for this world. This looks like something that just wants to blow shit up. Or it's Nib Miss It. Possibly. Oh. Okay, sure. You don't want to see my next land before you do that? Sure, fine. Okay. Emperor's not terrible. Okay. Cosmos Elixir leading to our next scry. We could have gone to explore, I suppose. Let's take the land. Take the land either way. So we'll lead up to the stuff. We can shockland a bunch. Expressive iteration, that's probably the best thing for me, is them stalling more. Unless they lead into their hand hate. I know they don't have a lot, it's just that sometimes it's inopportune. Okay, yeah, explore. Okay, one of these, explore. Okay, we got plenty of lands. In fact, we've got our requisite 7. So anything else after this is probably interaction points that we can take. We cast our first approach probably into nearly anything that they play. Sure. Yeah, like we've just bullface approached them. Ondu Inversion's pretty nice to have. Here's my approach. You want to use your Dovin's Veto on the first approach or the second? Okay, there we go. Pass the turn. Now they can't stall anymore. And we draw a card. They draw a discard. Another Cosmos Elixir. It's what point do we actually try to cast our second approach? So now they have to care. Yeah, they have to cast their Nib Miss It. So this gives us an idea of what's coming for us. None of this actually affects us. Call Against Command is probably the most effective against us. Territorial Kavu, maybe. Either way, Their land comes in. How? They don't. So they literally have to have a spell pierce right now. Niv Mizzet got wrecked. So bad. So bad. Okay, in on the play, we do have a green source. It flipped to the white, and I'm like, oh, shit. No, we're good. We're good. So, Hallowed Fountain, Branchloft, and we're kind of off to the races, aren't we? Yeah, that'll work. Of course, we do kind of need... Like, Azusa's Many Journeys is not the appropriate card here unless we were to get more lands. Commune with Spirits, looking for an enchantment card. Sure. Are you slow and or fast enchantments? If they're... oh, that's a pretty good tap land to acquire there. If they're fast enchantments, we can wrath them. If they're slow enchantments, we're going to try to race them, I guess? I don't know. Okay, plenty. Yeah, we'll take plenty. Okay, plenty says Sunset Revelry. I'm not taking that card right now. Good scry. Wandering Emperor's not terrible. We're going to main phase 2 for whatever they do. And it's a Dreamroot Cascade. Fine, I'll take the land. Hard decision when you're looking at 6 lands of your 7 that you need. But we do get continuous draws with Cosmos Elixir, especially while our opponent does not pressure us. But they may pressure us now. Sanctum? Okay, it's just shrines. It's nothing important. We're good. So, yeah, I'm just going to hold it in hand right now. That speeds things up. Okay. So Wandering Emperor is going to do absolutely nothing, but it might distract our opponent. So we play around with Wandering Emperor while we do all our other nonsense, and, you know, they have no idea what's coming for them. And then we just approach them while they're tinkering around with the Emperor, because they see nothing right now. So blue, are they going to drop the blue shrine or an all? No, they don't have the mana for all. Shrine of All won't happen. But any of the card draw ones, I'm assuming, is coming from that blue. Although they may be considering an alternative strategy. Sanctum of Calm Waters, as I said. And Commune with Spirits. Sure. It's the black one that bothers me because that fights with us on our level. In which case, I'd be hard-pressed to consider the Emperor at that point. But it may mess with them. We'll see. So we'll make a Vigilant. Take up. And then we'll play this. We'll play Azusa's Many Journeys. And we'll Temple Garden. And, yeah, crack for 3. Now we're a distraction. With Sunset Revelry. That said, Sunset Revelry draws us a card, and that's about it, which is basically where we want to be on approach anyway, is at least drawing a card in this kind of matchup. The rest of it, the life gain, yada, 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 not important. Anyway, we have a distraction for them. While they're doing that, we're approaching. Sounds good. Sanctum of All? Yep. Commune? Sure. So when's this happen? Upkeep? Sure. So they grab the pre-combat main phase nonsense? Their deck is all Wraths. And occasionally spot removal, so we're just going to fire off one of these, one of these. Draw a card. Pass turn. They may get the discard one. We have plenty of fodder. And all we have to do is get top decks, so we're basically fine there. Unless they grab the Mill Shrine. If they have the Mill Shrine, that's the new one, then that's a possibility. Yeah, they went with discard. It's fine. We've already cast the first approach, so now we're on top decks. See where we're at. You casting that? So we're losing our hand. How do I feel about losing our hand? There is one alternative. If we top deck an Ondu Inversion, they're probably conceding. Goshintai, sure. That's a lot of tokens. Okay. So how do we want to cover for this? Revelry. Got to get closer. Play land. We're just losing 5 cards straight up. I suppose that's still a thing. Okay, so we need to leave 4 mana left over with everything. And then we Azusa as many journeys the rest? Sure. That gives us all the mana we could ever want. Bye. Purge is nothing. Just let it all go. And now they find damage, I assume. So, next turn we draw. Thank you. Next turn we draw normal. Draw it at the Cosmos Elixir. Then we top deck at the end of the game. We win. We do nothing to draw cards from this point onward. Like, we do nothing to actively draw cards. That's where we're at. They're going to deck themselves. That's fine. Whatever. It's the mill shrine that's the main concern here. Looks like they're going for damage. Yep. Lots of triggers. Pick it up, buddy. Come on, let's go. Every one of your things is legendary. I mean, it's a matter of just a system of elimination. What don't you have on the table now? It can't be that hard to play shrines. Board wipes and play the thing you don't play yet. Okay, they're done. They play whatever they're doing here. Tokens, sure. Tokens, sure. Again, we just do the same thing. If we top deck approach in the first card, great. Anyways, they gotta discard 1,000,000 cards. Noting they have 17 cards remaining in their deck. Key the archive. Okay. We'll just make a token to stay alive. Here's key the archive. Watch a card disappear. Whee! Doomblade. Pew! And approach is on top. Kill me. You have to kill me. I think they're getting the idea. Boundless Vigor, whatever this does, a bunch of trample. Does it make other things trample? Can I read the card, please, without you flipping? Oh, never mind. You just... This is the you can't fire me, I quit. Okay, we're in on the play. A pile of growth spirals. Which is okay, I guess. Let's just hope we're not against a hyper aggro yet. We'll see. If we're against any hyper aggro, I'll start Azusa's Many Journeys. In fact, I'm quite tempted to just play that anyway. Yeah, I'm very tempted to play that right now, simply because I can go White Source, Azusa's Many Journeys. We need to push to the Wraths quickly, or any type of Wrath. Yes, very much so. They're doing this opener. Cosmos Elixir will buy us a minute. Revelry will buy us another one. Let's just go with the Cosmos Elixir for now. We got to draw through. Got to draw through. Revelry could have done basically the same thing. I just want a combination of everything. Terranica, that's going to potentially buff stuff. It's a concern. Zeus's many journeys again. Okay. Let's set this blue for... Oh my god, I have no green. Alright. We got one of those. Sunset Revelry, we are at a lower life total. This will put us to 3 cards upon cast. So we will draw a card. We'll get the trifecta here. And there's our next green source. And an Explorer. Okay. So 6 mana next turn. No Wrath yet. But maybe we can install Loaded Hair. Some Daxos. Sure. Terranica can't really attack thoroughly. That's a problem. Really? Freaking psychopath over here. Alright, well, kill the Terranica and chump block. Let's have none of that. This is not working out the way I'd like it to. So anyways, let's explore. Bogger. Grow Spiral. There it is. Okay. So we have to somehow survive here. Off you go. We've seen enough of you. We don't want any more of your kind. Linden, holy mother of God, that's a chump block on a Johnny's Pride Rage if there ever was one. Woo! Thank God these decks don't have interaction. Thank God I do. Come on, play some more. Do it. Do it. All right, don't do it. Wrath. I'm playing Azusa's Many Journeys just so I could get a life gain trigger next turn. I could care less after that. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unneeded. Approach will get us our life back, and that's it. That's all. Play around no Wraths ever. Thalia's good enough, especially when your opponent's at 7 mana and Wrath is 4. Okay, in on the draw, we got Explore Wrath. That's it. That's everything we got. And dogs barking like crazy. Anyways, real loud here. Alright. Tap land go. We can play this on white easily. Blue's real light for us. Okay, that is a mild red flag for us. Drop the breeding pool for now. We can get to Temple Garden just fine. Most ramp decks that aren't this approach deck, they die to us, like, very easily. I'm going to Zeus's Many Journeys, and I'm going to beat them to that curve, by the way. We're just going to play our lands, and we're going to be up there first. That's how this roll works. I'm hoping that they play something else that dies to Wrath, and that I can just set them back. That's good enough. Okay, so there's some sort of just green chunky deck. I suppose I could have survived that. Holy fuck, man! I mean, that works too. I got an Emperor. Fuck, why not? Why not? Sure. At least you're wasting it. Peace! Oh, oh, oh. Well, Divine Purge doesn't take out the Great Henge, but whatever. Yeah, let's Cosmos Elixir here. They have no blockers to for us right now, so we'll just use Likeness of the Seeker for now. And size it up. There's our lands. We needed Cosmos Elixir a while ago. It's just, yeah, this is where we were with it. Okay, Incubation Druid's fine. They can size it up, notably. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just... What can I do? I can explore right now. Let's explore. Play our land. Play our land. Attack with this. See if they fire this off. They don't. What's it make? Okay. Samurai token is a -1. I'm taking advantage of that. I'm cutting their mana off. I'm being aggressive about it. We're now at the location we need to be, so let's keep them off of it. So now we just cast Approach, and this ought to be slow enough. So they can pump it now. Nullhide Ferox, that's fine. Again, doesn't matter. I'm tempted to just... Okay, actually, no, that's too much mana. But I can't. You know what? Whatever. Make the token. Stall. We're about stall right now. Just stall. We're fine. We just play the rest of the game and stall. We block. Whatever. You know, that kind of thing. We're fine. We're at 30 life. They're not killing us. Battle Mammoth. Alright, and off they go. Aggressive Mammoth. Okay. Baller play. Now what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? Third Cosmos Elixir. Sometimes it's good, but not when, you know, like, when your opponent just looks at a Cosmos Elixir and goes, oh, that's cute. It does draw cards, though. That's the point. Okay, so Magic Arena economy aside, yes, obviously it took me forever to get 2 Wandering Emperors and all that stuff. But yeah, so I've been trying out all kinds of different things, trying to get different combinations. Believe me, that costs a lot of wild cards when you only play a couple times a week. That takes all of them. Anyway, so this version of Approach is kind of... Well, the Emperors are new to try out. They were a nice distraction. They do kind of exactly what I want them to do. Minor interaction while also complementing the Wraths. So 2 Divine Purge, 2 Wrath of God here. Ondu Inversion is its own thing. Like we'll ignore that for now. But I mean, when you're complementing these, sometimes the opponent just slips something out. Emperor covers for that. Easy peasy, right? Anyways, if you're wondering what they replaced Key to the Archive. Because Key to the Archive, sometimes good, sometimes bad, always gets blown up. So that's just the general rule. It'll always get blown up. So you just kind of... I like it as a little bonus, but not really... it's not as big a deal. It's just kind of like the 5th approach if we're attempting for anything. Anyways, the role of the deck is to stall. If we're against a control deck, oh well. We'll just walk away from that match. That's fine. If there's something I'm willing to lose to, it's probably hardline counterspells. That's fine. If you're doing a best of 3, then probably a little less of what's going on here, a little bit more mid-range game. Obviously, we're racing in game 1. That would be where that's at, and then the best of 3 would be appropriate. So things like counterspells, like we're talking like Pact of Negation sort of thing. Because if we're approaching, Pact of Negation it is what it is. We're just winning there. But so Pact of Negation will be in the sideboard. I haven't done best of 3 yet. I'm considering it. If I just have the patience to go through 3 games, that's where I'm at with it. So Pact of Negation, we're possibly talking Dovin's Vetoes or something like that as well. There's lots of options there to take advantage of this blue mana, because that's why the blue mana is in here, is to, like, it's nice for the growth spiral, but you need to have your counterspell sideboard package. That's why I kind of left the lands as is, in case I ever get around to that, so I don't have to tinker with the lands too much. Anyway, so based on the fact that we're more focused around aggro styles, so that's where the cards generally come from in this scenario. Sunset Revelry. It's, if the opponent has more life from you, you gain 4 life. Against life gain decks, that's just 4 life. That's great, because that works in tandem with other cards. Opponent more creatures than you, you get 2 chump blockers, basically. Opponent has more cards than you, and we're talking those decks that are slow, dirtily, shrine-like, and stuff like that. Then, yeah, you get to draw through. Now, the key to this deck is cantrips. Cantrips, scry, scry, scry. That's the kind of thing. Where deck manipulation. Approach to the second sun says you cast a spell twice. So we're trying to just cast it twice. That's our goal. We have to make that happen. So, Azusa's Many Journeys, that's part of the ramp package. Now, the reason being that Explore and Growth Spiral are limiting, and when you don't draw them all the time, then you have these stall cards in Azusa's Many Journeys and Sunset Revelry, where you draw, you gain the life, or you ramp and gain the life, however you want to take a look at it. But anyways, Azusa's Many Journeys, first chapter, you get to play an extra land. You do not draw a card like Explore, that's notable, and you just keep that in mind. Second chapter, you gain 3 life. You would not believe how insanely good that is in this deck when you're just piling it on to everything else you're doing for gaining life. Real good. Anyways, you can convert it into Likeness of the Seeker, which is a 3/3 chump blocker, as you would like, or something that can potentially at least attack planeswalkers once in a while. That's kind of the presence that I was starting to go for with this deck, is at least something to pressure the planeswalkers a little bit. And so that's one of the nods here. So all of the chapters get used properly in this deck. Anyway, 2 copies Divine Purge, 3/2, bounce between them. I'm on 2 as of this video, basically. But yeah, I've gone up to 4, down to 1, and I'm at 2 right now. Either way, this one's flex spot. Like, you figure out what you want there. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, 2 Wandering Emperors here. Oh yeah, I should mention what it does. It exiles things, and it's the most busted board wipe in Eternal formats. Like, really busted. Like, this thing is too good. Way too good. I don't see myself ever playing a creature deck while this is at its current power level. Basically saying it that way. The Wandering Emperor. Yeah, super awesome planeswalker from the current Kamigawa set, the most recent set. And yeah, with flash and flash abilities, being able to exile a tapped creature, well, I mean, you can get a lot of those abilities at 2, but you can't get all of these. So anyways, Azusa's Many Journeys making tokens, Sunset Revelry making tokens, potentially. Allows for the +1 to have some merit in the deck. It's not always going to be great, but it can happen. You can make the 2/2 to apply pressure, make a distraction, if you will, where it's just like, hey, I've got this 2/2. Oh, I opted to do a 3/3. And now I'm attacking you for 3 every turn. You got to do something. Oh, while you're doing that, here's an approach, by the way. Oh, just ignore that. You didn't see anything. Deal with this 2/2. So that's kind of where this is at, and it's just that kind of sparring card, if you were. But it also complements the Wrath, where you get to get rid of that extra creature that's slightly problematic. After that, just 2 Wrath of Gods. I started with Doomskars, but I found that, you know, you're investing your Foretell on turn 2 with all these cards. I'd rather do all these cards on turn 2 and do these on later turns. That's how I looked at it. Anyways, A-Cosmos Elixir. Believe it or not, with the arena or with the alchemy edits on this, people were saying, yeah, this is not so great. No, it's real good in this deck. This Cosmos Elixir is insane in this deck. So, beginning your end step. Draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. That is the same as the original. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and scry 1. Now, originally it said you just gain the 2 life. Now it says scry 1. What do you want to do every turn when your approach is 7th from the top? You want to get it closer. Scry 1 every single turn while stalling, while having all these life gain mechanics just eventually drawing you the cards. Yeah, this card is really good in this deck. It is insanely good in this deck. When you get it down turn 3, it affects the board quickly. And you gain a lot of life over the course of time. And if you're not gaining a lot of life, then you're drawing a lot of cards. That's how that just works. Your opponent has to either kill you all at once, deal with the elixir, or do whatever their plan is better. I mean, it's real good. It stalls. Anyway, Key to the Archive. This is, as you can see from the spellbook of 1, it's like the 5th approach. It lets you get any of the Key to the Archive cards, so it puts it into your hand. And then you discard a card. So it's one random 3, and you get to pick one of these. So it gives you a list of 3 random ones, and then you get to pick one. And the idea being that we get Approach or Day of Judgment is usually the high winners here. But occasionally we'll snag Time Warp, Counterspell. Those are in our colors easily. And you got to assume that you're never untapping with Key to the Archive, so you don't necessarily get the mana. So these other ones, not so much. Crozen Grip has been real good for me too. Regrowth as well. Really good ones in between. An extra Growth Spiral if you're really hurting. But yeah, that's generally the list of it. And so we get to use about half of them very easily in this deck. So it's just a little bonus. And yeah, when it was in multiples, I felt like it was too much. 1 feels like a nice little bonus while I get to at least play ball with my opponents. So the Emperor came and got a nod for that. Not sure where Key sits in the long game, but it's nice to have... I look at it as it's nice to have the potential to have an out if your opponent were to ever deal with Approach at all. So it's just like, well, I might be able to snag one out of this Key. So it's a possibility, because sometimes you may have to defend having these in your deck if anyone does a... what is it? One of those things that exiles, Necromentia, for example, could do that. Now, that's extremely rare in a best-of-1 scenario, but in a best-of-3, that's something that you have to care about. So keep it in mind. So I'll figure out a sideboard one of these days for that. I'll do more videos on this. This is basically the deck I play. Anyway, Ondu Inversion at the very end. This is just a land drop, but maybe your opponent's playing Shrines or some nonsense, and you're just like, you know what? Game over. You're done. And you just blow up all their things. And you blow up half of yours, but it hurts them more than it could ever hurt you. Sort of stuff. So anyway, there's that. Anyways, lands. Here's a bunch of lands. If you're wanting to note the ones that are a little bit off the norm here, Blossoming Sands for the 1 life gain, because you would be surprised how often this one Blossoming Sands has gained me 1,000,000 life and not been a problem coming into play tapped. I've tried to play a balance of tapped lands and untapped lands, and so I think the balance is pretty good here. 1 Temple of Plenty as the other tapped land, and, well, actually, I suppose there's more than that. A World Tree. So that's where we're at. About 3 tap lands in I can't remember, it's like a 30 land deck. 29 plus Ondu Inversion, so 30 land deck. And 3 tap lands. I'd say that's pretty reasonable, and that's why we get to do a number of times where we get a very convenient turn of Explore, play the extra land tapped, and that's where we're at. So, yeah. There we go. Anyways, that's the deck, and it's all about stalling and scrying and drawing and getting perfect deck manipulation to try and cast Approach twice. That's it. And it's playing it as an aggro deck, not a control deck. Like, oh, look, I drew this, I guess I win in your control deck. No, this is just try to get there as fast as possible and ignore whatever your opponent's doing. If you're wondering about the lovely favorite deck in Historic, Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix just doesn't stand a chance. If you're really wondering, Phoenix just can't keep up with this life gain. Because you wrath their stuff, and we're talking things like wrathing a Sprite Dragon, like in Purge or something like that. Emperor knocks out Phoenix here or there. And then, if they're bolting us, Sunset Revelry just pops it right back. There's all kinds of situations where you just stall. And in a best of 1, they don't really have counter spells, so you really just tear through Phoenix. And in best of 3, you just put in Authority of the Consuls. By the way, Authority of the Consuls, add that to your sideboard list. Knocks out so many decks. And it... You go and you just wrath those Phoenixes gladly. It's like, oh, look, I got 3 Phoenixes. They all came into play tapped. Here's your 3 life. Okay, I'll wrath them. Oh, look, they all came back. Here's 3 more life. And they don't do any damage because they're tapped. So, yes, Authority of the Consuls absolutely devastates Phoenix in this deck. So that's another sideboard card added to the pile. Anyway, with that and those 2 sideboard cards that are absolutely imaginary, that's the deck. And... super fun. Just if you're trying to just ignore what your opponent's doing entirely and you just don't care what they're doing, this is a deck to play. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. I'm sure I'll get a sideboard someday. Take care. Bye-bye.